My dear brothers and sisters, we are living in the season of Lent, and today is also the first Saturday of the month. Therefore, we look with great confidence to the maternal heart of our mother, the Virgin Mary. In this very special Lent, we remember the devotion of the first Saturdays of the month, requested by Our Lady to Sister Lucia, one of the visionaries of Fatima. Today's Gospel is known as the Gospel of the Prodigal Son, but in truth, deep down, it could also be called the Gospel of the Merciful Father. Why? Because the true protagonist of the parable is the Father. Jesus begins by saying, "A man had 2 sons." From that moment on, we see how each of these sons behaves before this very loving Father. In reality, both sons offend the Father. But the most impressive thing is that the Father does not give up on neither of them. The younger son is the one who sins more openly. He treats his father as if he were already dead, asks for his inheritance, and leaves for a distant land. There he wastes everything. But eventually he realizes that the freedom he was seeking had actually become a form of slavery. And this often happens in the life of someone who lives in sin. A person believes he is free, but in reality becomes enslaved. It is interesting to notice that many times these people are actually easier to convert. Why? Because God speaks to them through a very mysterious instrument, misfortune itself. When difficulties come, when life begins to fall apart, many people finally realize, this life is destroying me, and then they decide to return to God. That is what happened to the younger son who said, "I will arise and go back to my father's house." But there is also the older son, and he too needs conversion, because although he remains at home and apparently does the will of his father, at the end of the parable we see that his heart is not truly converted. The older son represents those who live an outwardly religious life, people who are not living in scandalous sins and who appear to be doing everything right. But deep down they live their service to God as if it were a form of slavery. There is a hidden ingratitude there. He complains to the father, "You never gave me anything to celebrate with my friends." And the father, almost surprised by that attitude, replies, "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours." The older son does not recognize the grace he already possesses. He is in his father's house, but he thinks like a slave. That is why it is interesting to notice that both sons felt like slaves. The younger one tried to escape this supposed slavery and ended up lost. The older one remained at home, but still kept the mentality of a slave. During this Lent, let us ask Our Lady to fulfill her role as mother. A mother helps us understand the love of the Father. She teaches our hearts how much God loves us. Let us ask the Virgin Mary with her maternal tenderness to show us the joy of serving God with love and gratitude. There is an ancient phrase in Latin that says, "Servire Deo regnare est," which means to serve God is to reign. The younger son realized this. He said, "The servants of my father live better than I do here far away from him." The one who thought he was free was actually destroying his own life. Therefore, in this Lent, let us ask Our Lady, Saint Joseph, and our guardian angels to inspire us interiorly. May we recognize how deeply we have been loved by God, and may we discover how wonderful it is to serve Him with gratitude. That is why we came into the world, and that is why a vast heaven awaits us. May God bless you.